Welcome to the DonStamp Podcast, man. I know y'all used to saying off the dome with Don, but off the dome was too basic, too original. So we had to switch it up to the Don Stamp. And what the Don Stamp stands for is really, I needed like a little stamp, a little staple, something just to put my like imprint on something. And I couldn't really think of a name, and I thought off the dome was just too basic, too simple. So I think Don Stamp, I think that's the one. And I'ma stick with it because I love it, man. And what Don Stamp really means is just leaving your stamp on everything, leaving your mark on everything, and just leaving your impact on everything, man. So welcome to the Don Stamp. Same thing as off the dome, same mindset, same quality, same off the script. But we're gonna switch things up a little bit more energetic, a little bit more flavor, a little bit more sauce, you know what I'm saying? So now let's get straight into it. We're gonna start off with a little special Q&A that y'all replied to on my last post on Instagram. And we're gonna answer, give y'all the realest answers, give y'all the realest feedback and opinions. So we're gonna start off with the first question. How do you feel about this generation of hip hop? I feel like with this generation of hip hop, I feel like folks are misunderstood. If you'll get what I'm saying. Like a lot of people's styles and a lot of people's ways that they rap and do things nowadays, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people love it. A lot of people may think it's brain rot. I think rap is in a good state because you got hype rappers, you got street rappers, you got trap rappers, you got spiritual rappers, you got chill rappers, you got singing rappers. Like I feel like you got every type of brand of a rapper nowadays. And in my opinion, I feel like it's great because if you don't like the song or you don't like the new music that's popping out, great thing, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that exists because you can go back and listen to the old school. And a lot of the old school is being influenced on the new music nowadays with the samples and the wordplay and the swagger and the style nowadays. So in my opinion, I feel like this generation of rap is one of the best generations because it's showing so much variety and so much like different sounds to the world that we're so used to, like from the past. Cause you know what I'm saying? We got rock star rappers, we got pop rappers, street rappers, all types of rappers, man. I feel like it's just great for the game. Cause then a lot of rappers collab and make sounds that they never know they could make. So, in my opinion, I feel like this generation of rap is good. I know a lot of people may think it's not that good because they so used to whatever they like. But in my opinion, I feel like this generation of rap is great. And you can say what you want to say, but you can't hate on folks for trying stuff new and trying what they want. And I feel like this generation separates themselves from everybody else because at the same time, they don't really care if you like it or not. I ain't gonna say they only care if they like it, but it's more of they're not afraid to release something that they like and not afraid of hearing the backlash. Hence, on a lot of old rappers, a lot of rappers in the past, they always so worried about the fan engagement, everything else. A lot of rappers nowadays, well, let me rephrase, a lot of artists nowadays, they're not afraid to release what they like and experiment with it and learn from their mistakes and keep gaining and trying to get better and promote a new sound instead of just staying in the loop. In my opinion, I feel like that would make this generation of rap good. So I'm really I listen to everybody's music. I'm really musically orientated. I'm musically gifted. So, I listen to every type of rap, every type of R&B, pop. I don't listen to no country music. But, I know a little something about it. But, yeah, that's all I had to say about the generation of rap. I feel like everything on this generation is going in the right direction. People may have their opinions, but at the same time, ain't nothing wrong with trying new things and seeing new sounds and trying new sounds and seeing what they're about. You know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on this new generation of rap. Ain't nothing too crazy about it. Next question. How was life after high school? I would say life after high school was very, very, very humbling. And what I mean by that, my whole life, I grew up thinking like, okay, You gonna do what you gotta do. You don't really need to go to class. You just need to make sure you scrape by. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be in the NFL. Everything gonna work out. Ain't no such thing as a plan B. Plan A gotta work. Did I get humble? As soon as I got to college, I realized like, oh nah, it ain't just cakes. It ain't just cake and glitter in the world. It ain't just everything just ain't sweet in the world. Like, this is real life. Like, I got hit with a real reality check when I got to college. Like, I'm thinking like I'm finna just skate by, play football, make it to the league. And I could just be lazy and I could just get up when I want to get up and be in my old ways. My granddaddy used to tell me a phrase, rest in peace, my grandfather. He used to tell me a phrase, no matter what level of life you go to, you got to step your level up. And if you don't step your level up, people going to surpass you. And I used to think, man, he just talking. He don't know what he talking about. I'm already at that level. I'm just waiting on my turn. And when I got to that level, I realized everything he was talking about. No matter what you do in life, it matters. You get a job promotion, you get promoted first on the depth chart on a sports team. You know, you get promoted first to do something. You the line leader, anything. You get promoted in the military. You gotta go from here and you gotta go to there. No matter if it's hard or easy. And I had to learn that the hard way because I stayed here and I was comfortable with being here. And then everybody that was there made me not being comfortable here. And I had to realize, like, okay, you got to step your game up. You got to go from here to there, no matter what. And unfortunately, it got to the point sometimes where, I get left in the dust and everybody would be there and I'm still here. And I just got real humble real fast with life. Cause then things started not going my way. I started transforming into like, somebody I didn't know at one point in time, just doing things I ain't like, being a person I didn't want to become, doing what I had to do. And then I got hit with a reality check one day, like, okay, man, what you gonna do? You gonna sit down and just whine and complain all day? Or you gonna give it your all and try even if you fail? And I'm still learning lessons along the way with life because you never can stop learning. Nobody got everything figured out. Nobody's perfect. Everybody needs something, to learn off of, a platform to learn off of, just lessons to learn off of, everything. They got to keep going, progressing in life because nobody's perfect. Nobody got everything figured out. And the most successful people in life always asking questions. They always learning from each other. They never get offended by the things that people trying to help them with. So one thing that just humbled me real early in life after high school was I just had to grow up. And I just had to realize like a lot of things my parents, my folks, everybody were protecting me from, they were protecting me from it for a reason. So I could go with my time, not rush my time, not get over ahead of myself, not take things too fast and mess up and go at a pace that you want to go at. Because if you go too fast worrying about what somebody else doing, you can mess around and take 10 steps forward and then end up taking 15 steps back because that's not your lane. You got to stay your lane. And I had to realize that as the biggest lesson after high school. You have to stay your lane in life or you're going to get ran over or you're going to get pushed to the other lane or you're going to get cut off in the other lane. So that's really what I had to learn after high school. And then, life, everything ain't good, but everything ain't bad, but I'm alive, I'm breathing. I got a roof over my head. I got a car. You know what I'm saying? Everything going smooth. It could be way worse. I could be in a cell. I could be dead. You know what I'm saying? I could be starving. It could be a lot of things. But hey, that's the biggest life lessons I had to learn after high school. And only advice I give anybody that's about to get out of high school, man, just stay your lane and do what you want to do. And don't be like, how can I say it? Don't be so hostile towards criticism and don't take things with a grain of salt because people are just trying to help you because they love you, bro. And that's all I'm going to say about life after high school that I just had to learn quick. And hey, just trying to get game to you, man. And I stamped that. The next question. How was life growing up in the 910? Whew. The 910. 910, the 9 dime. If y'all don't know what the 9 dime stands for, it's the 9 and the dime is 1 and 0. If y'all didn't know what that means, by the way. But I mean, growing up in the 910, in my opinion, it was cool. You know, it ain't everything won't great, everything won't bad, but it was cool. It wasn't really out of the ordinary. It get a little boring here and there. Playing sports, you know what I'm saying? That kind of was like the way we was looking. I was looking at things as like a way out growing up. I always thought like you ain't gonna get far with school, you ain't gonna get far with life. If you ain't playing sports, then you either need to go to the military or do something with your life. And I just say growing up in the 910, one of the biggest things growing up in Clinton specifically was just not being like, how can I say it? I think I can speak for everybody for Clinton. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself and my peoples. Everybody just wanted to make it out of Clinton alive and just in like a good headspace. Because growing up in the 910, Clinton specifically, it could be like a crab in the barrel mentality out here. Like everybody start hating on each other. Everybody start putting down each other. Ain't no unity out here. You know what I'm saying? That's called like all across the 910, county to county. But I will say one thing about the 910, we was raised not to just take nobody's stuff, just not take no disrespect from nobody. Just don't put up with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because I go to city and I see how other people act. And I see like, my 910 side coming out like, okay, I'm not finna just let somebody talk to me crazy. I'm gonna get up and go do what I gotta do to help my family, help myself, take care of myself. I'm not finna just stay down and be a bum. Well, a bum is a strong word. I'm not finna just stay down and feel sorry for myself. That's like a lot of lessons I could take away from growing up in the 910 because I never really knew some lessons I learned from the 910 growing up out here until I went to other cities and I went to other states and started seeing it in certain situations. And I'm thankful that I grew up in the 910, the country roads, the back roads, because a lot of people, I realize a lot of folks can't grow up in the country. A lot of folks can't grow up in the city. And a lot of folks can't grow up in, certain environments, but ain't nothing wrong with that because the world is made up of everybody and they make the world go around. Everybody come from their own struggles. Everybody come from their own greatness and their own families. But the main thing I will say about growing up in the 910 was it made me grateful for every single thing because just in like a snap of the finger or like a hand clap, your life can go from 100 to 0 in a heartbeat or 0 to 100, however you want to say it. And just growing up in the 910, we just had like a big love of sports, a big love for family, because in the end, family all we got. Sports was all we had at one point in time, unless you was real big into school. Because me personally, I wasn't that big into school until I went to college, and I had to learn. I had to learn more about myself once I got to college. But I used to be one of them types. All I thought about was football my way out. If football don't work, I'm stuck here forever. But I had to learn that's not the only way out. There's a lot of other things. You can go be a doctor, businessman, podcaster, content creator, construction man, anything. Like, don't let the rap music, the pop music, and all the types of music influencers on media, don't let all that stop you from doing what you want to do and keeping you in like a level headspace. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. Don't let the community get you sometimes. You gonna tell people your plans, your dreams, your aspirations, and they may put you down like, man, you tripping. Don't do that. You wasting your time. And like I said, back to the crab in the barrel mentality, a lot of people gonna keep you where you want to be because they just jealous. They don't want to see you doing better than them, or they don't. But the end, this point, growing up in the 910, one thing that taught me was I had to be my own person. Cause following other people, listening to other people, you ain't gonna get nowhere in life. And hey, just be your own person, be your own man, be your own woman, whatever you want to identify yourself as, and just do it for yourself. Cause that's the biggest thing I was taught in the 910. If you ain't doing it for yourself, then let me rephrase that. If you don't love yourself, how somebody else gonna love you? And that's the biggest lesson I could say I got from living in the 910. Cause like I said, things ain't always gonna be good and things ain't always gonna be bad. And if you ain't take nothing else away from what I just said, just love yourself because nobody else gonna love you if you can't love yourself. Ooh, we rolling with these topics. Next question. When did you know your football career was coming to an end? / signs you knew you were about to hang up the cleats? Respectfully, I say I knew my career was coming to an end. My first signs was at my first school when I got to like my third year and I still wasn't playing. And, I still was in my way, just going to practice. And I was just going to practice, just going through the motions. We were losing. I wasn't really motivated to do anything. I'm going to weight room late, going to practice late. That was the first sign, but I say the signs that like I kind of knew I was about to give it up. When I transferred to my second school, Elizabeth City State University, go Vikings. I had transferred over there for football. Had went to a couple practices, and I had found out I was ineligible after I transferred from a private school to a public school. And some of my credits didn't transfer over. So, and coincidentally, my roommate, he was ineligible at the time too. So, me and him was in the same situation, So they told us like, okay, y'all can't even practice. Y'all just gotta wait till the spring, come back. So, I was enjoying my college experience. And then, springtime came back around and the coaches started calling us, telling us like, hey, y'all gotta get back ready for practice. Y'all gotta get back ready, back in shape and stuff. So, we started going through the athletic department, started getting all our papers right, started trying to work back out more. So when we going through the process, they told us out of nowhere, like, hey, y'all gotta try out for the team now. So, I haven't been told that in a long time since like high school, because college is a little different. If you on a team, you was recruited to be there. So, they telling me, okay, you gotta come try out. So, I felt a little disrespected at first. Like, I gotta try out, like what y'all recruit me for. So I'm gonna be real with you. I started working out a couple days before the tryout, and I was doing what I got to, I was doing what I do, and as a college student, you know what I'm saying. I wasn't in the best of shape. I wasn't drinking the most water, but the day of the tryout came, and I knew I wasn't in shape. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go out there and do what I got to do for the little tryout. I felt like I shouldn't be trying out to start with, so I go out to the tryout. I run the 40-yard dash, and I pull my hamstring and fall. So, one of the coaches tell me like, okay, good effort, get up and go run again. So, I get back on the line, run the 40-yard dash again. I'm zooming, I'm flying, and I fall again. So then when I fall again, the D-line coach walk up to me and was like, hey, you all right, man? And I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. He said, you out of shape, ain't you? I'm like, yeah, how you know? He said, yeah, you look way faster on the film. You ain't been working out like that, have you? I'm like, nah, I ain't been working out. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. So, got real humbled. Went back to the dorm room that night thinking like, dog, man, you washed. You ain't the same you used to be. You ain't got the same worth that you used to have. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't, and I just had them thoughts sitting there like, man, maybe it's time to give it up. It's time to focus on school more. I'm trying to find something different. So then, went to a couple spring practices and they told me that, okay, since you look so out of shape at the tryout, you got to get back in shape until you can put on pads and practice with the team. So, I'm doing what I got to do at practice, running sprints, getting into shape. So the coach tell me like, okay, I think I'm ready for y'all to practice again. So then the head coach come tell me like, nah, y'all can't practice yet. So, me personally, I'm the type, I'm not finna just sit around holding bags, giving people water, no disrespect to people that do that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But me personally, I wasn't just happy with being a support cast because I came to play. I came to practice. I came to work out. I'm not out here just to sunbathe. I'm not out here just to ore farm. So I got to a point, I told him, like, hey, man, I'm not finna just keep coming out here doing this because, I'm here to play. And then, had a couple conversations with the coaches, things didn't work out. And ultimately, unfortunately, I ended up quitting, giving up football. But, I was down, depressed because, football was a big part of my life, had a big, you know, a big footprint on my life. Still love football to death. I'm still gonna talk football. But after that, I started getting into the sports commentating field, the sport broadcasting field with the radio station and the TV station at school. I started dwelling into that more, getting into that field more. Hence on why I started the podcast, because I started falling in love more with talking about sports, just talking about life, you know what I'm saying? More getting more well-rounded around the media field, around the mic, around the camera, you know what I'm saying? So everything happened for a reason at the end of the day. But that was just the first signs I knew things were about to be coming to an end. But my biggest regret, I will say, about football that I had was I didn't put in the hard work that I should have put in. Cause I felt like I always had a talent, but hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And you're gonna find that out in the college level if you don't find it out nowhere else, because there's always going to be somebody your size, somebody bigger than you, somebody smaller than you that's working way harder than you. Whether it be physically or mentally, they're going to always have a step ahead of you. And you could physically be better than a player, but if he mentally smarter than you and he know more things than you and he got a better IQ than you, he's going to play before you. Everything ain't just about physical abilities. And me personally, I just, I lacked in all of that. Like, I wasn't going as hard as I could physically, and I wasn't going as hard as I could mentally. I didn't look into my playbook. I didn't stay in the weight room. I didn't do them extra sprints after practice. I didn't take practice seriously. And a lot of them things I just wish I could have took more seriously. But everything happened for a reason. I regret a lot of those things, but I can't change it. Only thing I can do is get better from it, and I just hope whoever watching this, you don't make the same mistakes. Whether it's sports, life, anything, any aspects of that, just give it your all, because I still be picking at myself, beating myself up because I wish I gave sports my all and I wish I gave football my all. But like I said, everything happened for a reason. And I'm still, I'm still happy to be here with y'all, talking to y'all. But just give it your all and make sure you do things with no regrets and don't live in the moment. Well, live in the moment, let me rephrase that, but think about the aftermath. Don't do things just for the moment and then think about, man, I should have did that back in the day. I should have went harder, because that's me sometimes. I just be wishing, man, I should have made it to the league. I should have did that extra rep. I should have just listened to that coach. I should have just went to that extra meeting. So just do things with no regrets and give it your all. And even if you give it your all and try, at least you know you tried. And that's all I got for that topic. Next topic. Why do you feel like most relationships don't last nowadays? Woo! I ain't no Dr. Phil. I ain't no Mario or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it. I feel like a lot of relationships don't last nowadays because comparison is the thief of joy. And what I mean by that, comparison is the thief of joy. When you're in a relationship, you should only be worried about your spouse. When I'm in a relationship, I think my girl the baddest girl. I think my girl the baddest girl in the world. Like, she the finest. She look good. She walk the best. She look the best. I feel like everybody that I'm in public with looking at her when I'm with her. Of course, there's other pretty girls, other fine women in the world. But when I'm in a relationship, I'm worried about my spouse. When I'm in a relationship, my spouse is the most beautiful woman to me in the whole world. I don't care if another girl that looked good walked past me, another girl that I wanted in the past hit me up, or my dream girl that I thought was my dream girl in the past hit me up. Because in my opinion, the girl that I'm with now is my dream girl. Because I don't be in a lot of relationships. It takes me a lot to actually genuinely want to be around people, because I'm a loner for real. So when I'm in a relationship, I genuinely like that person. I genuinely love that person. I want to be around that person. I always, you know what I'm saying? They take me out my comfort zone and make me feel like I can be who I want to be. In comparison, being a thief of joy is I can go look on Instagram and okay, his girl just gave him 20K just because, like, or her boyfriend just gave her a Lamborghini, like, dog, like now it's well, he's doing that, she's doing that. Why can't you do that? Why can't you go take me here? Why can't you go buy me this? Why can't you treat me like that? It ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with wanting more out of life, seeing things that you want and seeing things that you like. But at the same time, we're not superhumans. Nobody's superwoman, nobody's superman. So you can't want people to do things beyond their means. Because when you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship with that person. That person isn't your meal ticket, isn't your card, isn't your caretaker, isn't your guardian. It's your spouse. And your spouse is supposed to be there to help you mentally and physically get better as a person. And that person that's supposed to be there for you and love you and like you no matter what they don't understand about you and no matter what they don't get about you and no matter what things they don't like about you, they're still going to like you and love you because that's your spouse. They're there to help you stay level-headed, keep your mental better and be a better person. And I just feel like most relationships don't last because they're not like old school relationships. Well, let me not say old school relationships because, I see some old school relationships. They could be together for 25 years and then boom, they gone. It's a divorce. But relationships in general, I feel like a lot of people will clown a lot of like some relationships they by some quote unquote weird people. And they be like, them folks look weird, but they be the happiest bunch of people you ever met in your life. Cause they're doing what they want to do. People may be like, oh, they're weird, they're nasty, they're disgusting, but they're happy doing what they want to do because they don't care about what that couple doing. They don't care about what that person think. They don't care about what their families think. They're happy with each other, and each other make each other happy. And that's really what it's all about deep down. Because no matter what, if you're not with a person because they make your mental better or they do the best for your mental, then what are you with the person for? In my opinion, because at the end of the day, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. We don't know how that person make you feel. We don't know what that person does for you. No matter if they do you wrong in public, do you wrong to the blind eye, or do you wrong on social media, whatever, deep down behind closed doors, you know who you really want, who you really love, who you really want to be with, no matter how many times they hurt you or do things that disrespect you or whatever. It's a thing called love. You're gonna choose who you want to be with. We're humans. We're gonna mess up. We're gonna disrespect each other, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. We're human. We mess up, but at the end of the day, it's who you choose, who you want to be with. Family disrespect us. Family messes up all the time. It's still our family because we love them, and you gotta use the same laws to relationships. You know what I'm saying? Not saying go out there and go dog your spouse and you still stay with them, go disrespect them, still stay with them, but like you got to stop comparing yourself to others and just live for who you want to be and the person that you want out of life and stop looking at what you see on the media, stop seeing what other people got because their situations are totally different than yours. And my opinion, that's the biggest problem with relationships is comparison is the thief of joy. And you just got to start doing what you want to do for you and your spouse. And I'm going to end this episode with just a couple words of advice just for you to, take with you at the end of this episode and just think about after this episode. Everybody's timeline is different. Let me say that again. Everybody's timeline is different. It may be your time now, and it may be somebody's time later. Or it may be your time up next, or your time has passed. On the DonStamp, I'm just not worried about views. I want to make an impact. I want y'all to feel what I'm saying. I just don't want to record this just for some clicks and views. I want y'all to actually take what I'm saying and use it in everyday life. Use it in your life, no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're thinking. Because, you never know who you can help in life. And you never know who you're going to need for help in life. And, there's people out here with degrees that ain't got a job in their field. There's people out here with degrees that got a job in their field. The people with CDL that don't got a job in the trucking business, the people without CDL that got a job in the trucking business. There's people with degrees that's working as cashiers and working as fast food, and there's people with PhDs that's not working at all and are homeless. And at the same time, there's people that ain't even graduated out of high school that got a better job than anybody that ever went to college or graduated out of high school. And the other way around, there's people that graduated out of high school that never touched college and got a better job than anybody that ever touched college. And I'm saying all that to say is it matters, but it doesn't matter because everybody's going to find their own lane in life, and you shouldn't rush just because somebody has something that you want and you don't have it yet. Or somebody's in a different point in life and they didn't work as hard as you apparently. Well, they didn't work as hard as you as to your means. Or they got it quicker than you got it. Or they got something that you wanted and you don't got. You shouldn't hate on nobody because you never know what it took for them to get to that point. Degree or no degree, diploma or no diploma, accolades or no accolades, trades or no trades, skills or no skills, personality or no personality. Everybody's cut different. Everybody got their time. And you shouldn't rush your time just because somebody's time is now. Somebody's shining now and you're not shining now. You got to stay down till your time come. Because trust me, it's going to come. You got to just keep hustling, keep flowing, and keep going. And even if, unfortunately, your time never come, at least have the gratitude and the clarity that you know, at least I tried. At least I gave it my all. At least I ain't just stayed where I was at. At least I knew I gave it my all. At least I was just waiting on my time. At least I ain't down talk on nobody else because they was shining and I won't. And even if you fall off when it becomes your time, just take it as lessons and keep building yourself back up. And no matter what you do, never ever quit and keep elevating yourself and keep trying to be better and keep trying to just be a better person for yourself. And even if you want to be a better person for yourself, be a better person for me. Because this life we live is so long, but it's also so short. And there's a lot of things that we can do while we here. And there's a lot of things we can learn from each other. There's a lot of things that, you know, we could just do, even if we don't like it, even if we do like it, that we just don't want to be in our grave at the end of the day on our deathbeds and be like, man, I should have did that. I should have just tried it. This is the DonStamp with Don, with your host Don himself. Shout out my homie Dre. Shout out 810 Studios. I appreciate y'all once again. I love y'all. I love y'all for interacting with me with the Q&A. Shout out Miss Tamika for helping me out with everything that she do. And stay blessed, stay prayed up, and we out.